We had a guideline from the state government saying that we could only use 50-member crew. So that was the guideline for us, including cast and crew members, technical crew and cast. Since it was made during the lockdown period, initial days of lockdown were very stressful because moving between districts was also not possible. So this was made during those times. Fahad's apartment was actually Fahad has got 2 apartments, one for his living purpose and one as his office purpose. Okay. So we both we utilized both these apartments as our main primary locations, and then we hired 3 or 4 apartments outside, near in the within the same complex as for our crew members and all the other actors and all to stay. So what we did is that within the phone, what we did is this is the back camera. We used a different phone. We stick the phone into this back of the phone.
So today I have with me the director of See You Soon, Mahesh Narayanan, sir. So first of all, welcome. How have you been?
Thank you for inviting for this conversation, and I'm happy.
So first of all, I just want to know, the film is doing so well. Was there ever were you ever anticipating this kind of a response, while you were sort of in the process of creating the film?
No, because since we made this film as an experimental project, this was an experimental project for me. I never expected such kind of response from or feedback from any set of audience, because it is as normal as how we exhibit our films in theaters. Because I was getting phone calls at odd timings and all, at midnight, and also I thought it's really fabulous, and we're happy. We're glad that people like it.
I want to talk about the concept of the film, but before that, I watched the film, and before that, when I saw the trailer, I saw that the film is going to be talking a lot about the virtual space of the character, especially. And when that happens, a lot of times it sort of compromises with the emotional aspect of the film and the characters, right? And I was taken aback when I saw the film. How beautifully all the aspects of the film were covered, and all of them, they just sort of fit perfectly like a puzzle. And I don't even understand Malayalam, and I still enjoyed the film so much. I want to know, how did this concept come about, because it's really interesting, and more than anything else, it's so relevant. So tell me a little about that.
See, basically, it was made. It was written during lockdown period, and the idea was still there. Idea came from a small video which was shared with me from a journalist friend of mine. So this was about an SOS video sent from a girl working in the Middle East to a family back in India. So it came to us back in 2015, and I also shared it with Fahad, the lead actor in the film.
Yeah.
So it was the video was really morbid, shocking, haunting, and it stayed with us for a long time. But what happened is that we all moved into other zones. I went into editing, and then after that I made a film called Take Off, and Fahad was also there in the part of Take Off. Then after that we went into make another film called Malik. So that film was supposed to release last April, and everything was all set, and we were about to censor the film. It was at that point this lockdown and the pandemic situation came, and we were all uncertain what to do next. We don't know. So during that process, creative artists, we have an inclination towards going into sorts of depression and all. If we have been working hard for 1.5 years for a film, and we are not getting a window to exhibit our film. So what to do? So that is the point when Fahad reached me out through an email saying that, do you still remember that video clip which we discussed in 2015? Are you still willing to do something out of it? So I told him straight away that okay, I can do something out of it on basis of a screen-based movie. But I can't term it as a movie because I don't know the exact length of the film or something like that, and I don't know whether Fahad is supposed to act in the film also. Let me come up with an idea in 2 or 3. Give me 2-3 days time. So in after 3 days, I think we met and then we discussed on it, and then that's how this entire characters were sketched, because Anu was already there, and then the character of Jimmy came and then Kevin was sketched out, and then I took a week's time to write the entire draft. So from the beginning itself, we knew that this is going to be a screen-based movie. It's not for all the set of audience, and so I told him that straight away that we don't want to rely on any conventional producers because we don't know. Sometimes it can misfire. Sometimes after making the film, you'll think that okay, it is not worth showing it to any people. So Fahadh told me that okay, I can understand your situation, so let me produce it myself, and then we'll decide later which platform or even if it's not working, let's make it as a home video within ourselves and share it among our friends and watch it. We did as a lockdown exercise. Yeah.
Well, it's doing so well, and I'm so happy to hear, like such a small idea, from just a video, you actually derived such a beautiful film, and you worked, it literally shows how hard all of you guys have worked on it, Sir, I also want to know, usually the process of filmmaking in normal times, in like a normal scenario, is very different, right? I mean, you obviously know it much better than I do. So tell me a little about the process of shooting this film, because from what I have read is that you guys have you rented 6 apartments, and then you've also have like a small crew of around 32 people who've worked on the film. And usually you have like a lot of people on sets, it's like huge. So how was the process of filming for this particular film like?
Since we had a guideline from the state government saying that we could only use 50-member crew. So that was the guideline for us, including cast and crew members, technical crew and cast. So we restricted our crew members to 50, and we didn't have 50 also. The maximum number of crew members all together, for a single day, was 42. And so thing is, since it was made during the lockdown period, initial days of lockdown were very stressful because moving between districts was also not possible. So this was made during those times. So we wanted to make sure that everybody should assemble under one roof. That's the point when Fahadh told me that okay, let's shoot within our apartments and all. So Fahadh's apartment was actually, Fahadh has got 2 apartments, one for his living purpose and one as his office purpose. Okay. So we we utilized both these apartments as our main primary locations, and then we hired 3 or 4 apartments outside, near within the same complex as for our crew members and all the other actors and all to stay.
Right.
So in that way, it was more like a quarantine period, like a 14-day quarantine period. And meanwhile, I was writing the screenplay, and we were discussing things. So everybody, we used to have close reading sessions, and then everybody, all of us understood that this is going to be a screen-based movie. So it was much easier than the regular stuff, because regularly when on an average basis, Malayalam cinema will have 120 to 150 people. So this was not like that. This was with a very minimal crew. So communication was very easy, and it was not like a lot of people have been telling me like I directed the film virtually. No, it's not like that. I was personally there. We were all personally there, and we could actually personally supervise the entire process also. So I was fortunate that if when one character was rendering his or her line, the other character was always there, to give the dialogues in the same rendering meter and all the modulation stuff and all, so that the other person can actually emote it in the same manner how we are watching it on the screen. Only thing is, the only disadvantage what is that they can't look into the other person's eye because they have to look into that screen.
Talking about that, were there also technical issues that you faced? Because what's very interesting here is that you're using your phone to shoot the film. And what's more interesting is that you're not using the front camera, you're using the back camera, right? So it's even difficult to sort of set the frame and sort of to see if you're there. And also what's more difficult is, like you said, because the actor is not there in front of you, just so that, you can sort of react or emote. So I think it gets a little more difficult for the actors also. But were there any technical issues or any such issues that you or anybody?
Initially, we had this technical issue with shooting with the back camera because our actors won't be able to judge their faces. So what we did is that, within the phone, what we did is, this is the back camera. We used a different phone. We stick the phone into this back of the phone, and in a smaller phone, So this had a front camera. So with this front camera, they could actually see their faces while acting. And from this point of view, we could actually judge their performance. And I was using a Wi-Fi monitor, which is connected to an iPad, where I could actually view their performance and I could pull their focus, like where the focus should be, and all was controlled through that. Yeah.
That sounds crazy. How did you manage that? I mean, it sounds really amazing, really fun. Well, I am so happy that, we got a chance to talk. I was initially very sad that we could not connect, but I'm happy now because I've seen the film now, and I know how amazing it is. So thank you so much for connecting.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you so much.
I'm really looking forward to more of your work, and I'm really going to follow it now. So all the very best, and thank you so much, sir.
Bye.